All right. In today's episode, Bell Atlantic, I was basically a repair and an installation tech.
Yeah, there's love, there's hate, lies and games, faith.
All right. In today's episode, we're going to discuss why the Camaro is one of the most beloved sports cars in all of our history, really. Like, if you're into cars, if you're a petrol head, if you're a gearhead, if you're a car person, then, and if you've ever owned a Camaro, then the Camaro is going to be one of the most special cars that will actually mean something to you. I'm going to go into my story today, kind of going over why the Camaro means so much to me and why it means so much to a lot of other people. So tune in and you're in for a ride. We're going to jump straight into it. I'm going to tell you why I believe that the Camaro is one of the world's most beloved and passed down sports car of all time. Now, I guess the easy way to do this would be for me to just kind of go through my journey with the Camaro, right? Now, this is the 5th Camaro that I've owned so far in my life, and it might end up being the last one, or I may get another one, who knows. But let me show you real quick what I'm talking about. So I have here a bunch of hats that I've won over the years while owning Camaros, right? And I'll go through the first ones right here. This should be a little bit interesting for you guys, get to know a little bit more about me and just kind of see why Camaros mean so much to me personally. So let's go back, and so this was the hat that I used to wear when I got my first Camaro. Now, it was a V6, and I actually got that Camaro by mistake, to be honest with you. Like, I I was like a fan of the Knight Rider movie, and when I got out of high school, the first thing I wanted to do was to get a Trans Am. I wanted to get a Trans Am like a Knight Rider. So I went to a dealership, and everywhere that I went at the time, they didn't have any Trans Ams. But this one dealership in New Jersey, they had one. They had a Camaro. It was a 1984 Camaro, and to me, it looked very similar to the Trans Am. So I was like, it looks like it, close enough. I'll get this. I didn't know what I was in for, so I got that car. Had to do like little repairs here and there, like little things would break and stuff. But there was just something about the car that made me fall in love with it. So this was me working at Bell Atlantic. I was basically a repair and an installation tech. I was like 18 years old, and that was my first Camaro, right? Then we skip ahead to, I moved down to Florida, started working at Media One. Still had that same Camaro, but then, things happened, life happened, and I had to get rid of it. And then I went in, that's when I got into my JDM cars. I got like a Mazda. Oh, what the heck was that? Is that a B? Oh well, back to story time. So yeah, so I got into, okay, that was a B. Yeah. So I got into Mazdas and had a bunch of those for a while. And then I started working for AT&T, still was deep into the JDM scene. I left AT&T and then I became a manager. I started managing acts like Flo Rida, Boobie Monroe, different artists, all over the place pretty much. And then from there, I became a casting director. This is one of the first movies that I did. It was a movie called Street Racer, funny enough. And it had like casting on there, so it was that.
Time to celebrate, no time for drama, time to be chill. So you know that I wanna feel myself and get loose. Let's pop a bottle of that new Grey Goose. Family and friends are just here. Check out my homies over there.
Then I got back into a Camaro in 2013. I got a 2013 Camaro SS 1LE, and that's when I was kicking it with TR3 Performance.
Sometimes you get so wrapped up with other things going on in this world, you don't take time to look at those closest to you. Take some time for yourself to just reflect on different issues.
And so that was the second Camaro that I had. And while I was still like kicking it with TR3 Performance and doing a lot of race car friend type stuff, I got back into JDM cars. And I don't know, I always had like a balance of like JDM and muscle at that point. And I don't know, I can't remember what happened. Oh yes, a Mazda Speed 3 had beat me in a race, beat my 2013 Camaro SS 1LE. So I was like, man, I went heavy back into JDM, but I couldn't escape the sound and the feel and that raw feel of that Camaro, that SS 1LE that I had then. So I thought I would compromise. I would go like something different. So in 2016, I bought another Camaro. It was the first time that they offered it with a turbo 4-cylinder. So I went and I got a 2016 Camaro with a turbo 4, and that was my third Camaro. I had that for a while, and then I just couldn't do it. Like I was like, oh man, it just wasn't the same. I needed to hear that V8 rumble. I was like looking on YouTube at other 6th gen Camaros that looked like this, and they all sounded amazing, and mine's didn't. So I went ahead and I traded in that 2016 for another 2016, but it was a Camaro SS.
Man, we so clean over here. We riding glass house, boys. All y'all dirty boys in your tent still. We ain't scared, handsome and ruthless. Ask you somebody. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. They call me Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. They call me Mr. Clean.
Just a regular SS. It was a 1SS. So I got my 2016 Camaro SS, and then from there I went ahead and let me see. Hold on. Yeah, so I had my 2016 Camaro SS, and I loved that car. I had an amazing time with that car, but then I was getting ready to start a family, and I traded it in, and I got not this Mazda CX-5, but I got a different Mazda CX-5. It was an all-wheel drive one, naturally aspirated. Loved that car, but then got back into like the whole JDM thing. I went and I got a 2019 STI. Alright, this is my 2019 Subaru WRX STI. And then once I had the STI for a while, I was like, wanted something a little bit faster, so I went and I got a 2019 Volkswagen Golf R. and I loved the heck out of that car. That was like an amazing car for me. Had a lot of fun in that Golf R. And then I got clapped up in a race with another Camaro. It was Booty Hunter's Camaro, the red Camaro that you guys have seen on the channel. So he beat me bad in that car, and it really made me start missing the Camaro again. So if you're counting so far, that's 4 Camaros. So then I went and I traded in the 2019 Golf R, and I got this 2021 Camaro SS 1 Elite. And I feel like I've kind of come for a circle, and I'm back to where like I wanted to be. So I'm back in another SS 1 Elite, and to me it just feels right. It feels like, you know, it feels like being home. I don't know how to explain that to you guys, but if you're a car guy, you know what I mean. There's certain cars that just feel right with you, it connects with you, and that's what this car means to me. Now, I've heard stories, like I don't have that generational thing where like my dad owned one and my grandfather owned one and they keep passing it down. Like that's a story that I hear over and over and over and over again. But me personally, I feel like, you know, my daughters, they hear me every time I come home. They know the minute they hear that V8 rumble, they're like, Daddy's home. And it just does something, you know, to them. It's just something about this car. They love it. My wife says, like, out of all the cars, I've owned upwards of 30 something cars, and they've said that, my wife has said that this is the one car she feels that really fits me. And it does. It's just something about it. Like, it really feels like I've come full circle, and this is the car that really, you know, belongs with me. So that's why I personally feel that the Camaro is just one of the most beloved sports cars of all time. But if you guys think differently, and I'm sure you guys have some Mustang stories to tell, comment below and let me know. And if you have some Camaro stories where it has been passed down from like grandparent to father or mother to son or daughter, then comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear your stories as well. And that's it for now. Race Car Friends out.